Hey everybody, welcome to the real United States. Welcome to Shepherdstown, West Virginia. We're back here in the great state of West Virginia to visit what is purportedly the most haunted town in America. Yes, you heard that right, the most haunted town in the United States. And largely I believe that is because of the mayhem that took place here during our Civil War. We're actually here in Elmwood Cemetery. Now this is a relatively famous cemetery for those of you who are into American Civil War history. And the reason is because there are, even though we are in the north, kind of, although this was part of Virginia at the time, so I suppose technically we are in the south, but we are very near the Potomac River on the division between the north and south, relatively far north in the conflict. Very northern part of the state of West Virginia today. This Confederate Memorial is here because at the Battle of Shepherdstown, more than 100 Confederate soldiers died and were buried here. Now in total there are about 285 Confederate soldiers buried here in Shepherdstown at the Elmwood Cemetery. Let's swing around and we'll show you the 1862 cemetery plot of the Confederate soldiers. See, there's an obelisk monument in the middle, various forms of the Confederate flag in the middle, and all the very classic, same-sized, demure military headstones that are common here in all military sorts of grave plots and cemeteries here in the United States. Now, the idea of this being the most haunted town in America has permeated the town's culture. It's gotten into its appeal as a tourist attraction, into its art, its culture, paintings, all sorts of things that are produced here by local people. Very small town, about 1,700 plus people as of the last census, part of our Small Town Americana series. And because it has become such a tourist attraction, again, this town, the parking is impossible to find. Town was built, you know, early 19th, late 18th century, where houses were built very close to the road. You know, there weren't a lot of houses, a lot of population. You had a horse and carriage, you know, whatever. Now you got these things that are very close to the street, and the street is fixed. You can't, unless you bulldoze houses, there's no way to make it wider and make parking. So there's a very little amount of parking as you roll through town. There is some on-street parking, but not a great deal. People still seem to pour in here to go to all the neat little shops, restaurants, boutiques that are along the main street through the center of town. So here on the very outskirts of Shepherdstown, a very quaint little O'Hurley's General Store. And it has a combination of some old things, but a lot of new things that are of they're ironwork and cast iron, those sorts of things, and antique types of things that but are new manufactured items. But of course, it's a tourist trap. Things seem to be a little pricey, but it's very quaint. A lot of you know, very high-end soaps and hand-dipped candles and all those kinds of things. Some nice pocket knives and a variety of lamps and lanterns and all kind of beautiful chinaware, things you'd expect to find in a general store in a tourist sort of a town. A very quaint little place here on the edge of town. So I just thought I'd stop and show you that while we were here. Now, another reason that this may be the most haunted town in America is because of the much more well-known and significant battle that took place in Antietam. The Battle of Antietam actually took place nearby, just over the Potomac in Maryland. It was a huge battle. Between 5,000 and 8,000 soldiers were wounded and or killed in that battle. And so the nearby streets were filled with streets, alleys, houses, every place here in town was filled with the wounded, the dying, and the dead that were brought back from the front lines of the Battle of Antietam. So a huge, huge battle, very significant battle of the Civil War. And that may play a more significant role, or as significant of a role, in why this is the most haunted town in America, you know, in adverse to or in addition to the Battle of Shepherdstown. So I hope you've enjoyed this short visit here. It's an interesting little town. It's very quaint, a lot of beautiful architecture. Again, there's not a great deal of parking, but if you are looking for these interesting esoteric pieces of mid-19th century history, this is a definite must-do on your trip. And certainly it's nice for us to be able to get, you know, over the border and into the state of West Virginia again. West Virginia gets kind of a bad rap, I think. They have a reputation for maybe being backward, and I don't think it's deserved. It is, by and large, a very modern, upward, you know, sophisticated state. I won't deny that there are enclaves where it is the time, you know, the land that time forgot. But the majority, I think, of West Virginia you will find is a modern state, just like any other state in the United States. So, you know, hopefully as we get to show more and more West Virginia, you'll get to see that it is, while quaint and historic, a very modern and, you know, thriving state. So thanks for joining us here on The Real United States. If you got questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. I do love hearing from everybody, and I try to get back to everybody I can. If you haven't already, please pick subscribe, come along for the adventure. We love having all of you with us. And as always, thank you for watching.